The Locked On NFL podcast, of course, on YouTube. This interview lives on YouTube. Check it out. Great daily content coming your way. Bo Brack, your Monday host. I'm joined by Jake Liscow, of course, co-host Locked On Bengals. And after back-to-back losses, the Bengals rebound with a big win over the Las Vegas Raiders. And it looked a little sluggish at the start of this game, Jake, didn't it?
It was sluggish at the start of the game, and Evan McPherson had to kick 3 50-plus yard field goals to get the scoring started, in addition to a Joe Mixon touchdown on a really nice wind back play. But yeah, it was a little bit slow to start. Joe Burrow turning the ball over on the Bengals' first drive again, triggering PTSD for Bengals fans everywhere who weren't ready to relive another disaster. But this one has a very different finish, as the defense really played a heck of a game outside of one explosive drive for the Raiders and kept Derek Carr, Darren Waller and company in check. Although Darren Waller, as he does, did get his.
Yeah, he certainly did. 32-13 was the final score in this contest. So I think that the final score maybe not as indicative as slow as things started, but the Bengals did a great job in pulling away with this one once they kind of found their footing, didn't they?
Yeah, they really stuck to their game plan in some ways in the second half. And early in the game, Joe Mixon wasn't finding much running room. I think he was somewhere around 2.5 yards per carry in the first half and closer to 5 yards per carry in the second half, a little bit over 5 yards per carry in the second half. And so I think there were some tendencies they wanted to exploit in the running game when they were trying to go after him early. But when the Raiders were fresh, those plays weren't working quite as well. The offensive line was losing its matchups from time to time. And in the passing game in particular, they had a lot of issues with Max Crosby on the right side with Riley Reif trying to block him. So it wasn't all pretty, but sticking with the run game late, Joe Mixon found those lanes in the second half, ends up with a really nice game, and continues his stretch of playing really well against the Raiders. He's from the Oakland area and has always seemed to like playing against his, I guess, former hometown team.
Yeah, 30 carries in this contest, 123 in the touchdown. Joe Burrow, a touchdown in the contest. Pretty slow day for Burrow. The one touchdown goes to Jamar Chase. He continues in his incredible rookie campaign. In order for this Bengals team to be successful, and as we mentioned, they dropped back-to-back games before the bye. They were certainly rested up. They're 6-4 on the season and arguably the toughest division in the NFL, all for 500. What's the most important facet of the game for them to get right each and every week? Is it that run game with Mixon? Is it the passing attack with Burrow and Chase and all those guys? Or is it that defense?
It's really all of it. I know you asked me to pick one, but it's
Sure.
been a different thing every week. Some weeks, nothing works. Like against the Browns, they couldn't really get anything going. And in that sense, it's a complete game. Against the Jets, the defense just evaporated, right? Against the Bears earlier this year, they couldn't get the offense going until too late in the game. So if you look at all their losses individually, it's kind of different things in each of them. Some of them are games where the defense played well. They could run the ball okay, and they couldn't pass the ball. And so it's getting everything on the same page and finding a way to be a little bit more consistent, to control the game script a little bit better, something they did well against the Raiders, although they didn't get out to a fast start. They outpossessed the Raiders nearly 2-1. And I think that mattered. I think taking the ball out of Derek Carr's hands and forcing the game to be a little bit shorter for the Raiders offense did help, although the Raiders kind of squandered their last two opportunities with turnovers anyway. Getting everything together and executing throughout the game is important because they seem to have the guys, whether it's Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, the kind of third and fourth fiddles at this point on this offense, or the defense playing more like the first 7 games in their 8th and 9th game, getting it all together and finding a way to play at a high level more consistently is the way forward. Because if you look at their remaining schedule, it seems like every game except for hosting the 49ers is against a team in the AFC playoff hunt, because everything is so compressed around 5-6 wins in the AFC. Every game is going to be important.
Coming up, but Jake Liscow and, of course, James Rapien, they're talking about this big win on Monday's edition of Locked On Bengals. I highly suggest you check it out. They're dancing, at least James always is. And then, of course, previewing a potential season sweep of the Pittsburgh Steelers coming up this Thanksgiving week. Jake, thank you so much for your time, as always.
Has been a while since the Bengals swept the Steelers. Would love that this year. Thanks, Phil.